natural journey unfolds, let our products naturally assist you. Salome, your journey matters. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast show, and we love talking all things health, from changes to irregularities. There are many myths associated with menstrual cycles. Today, we take a deep dive into demystifying the menstrual cycle the best way we know how, and that is with the experts to lend us their helping hand. And joining us for this discussion on irregularities of the menstrual cycle demystified is CEO of 360 Biomedicine, Boitumelo Sabambo, and gynecologist and obstetrician Dr. Zandile Dunn from Melomed Belleville Hospital. Ladies, welcome. Doctor, I'm going to start off with you. I know there are quite a few cultural myths associated to a young lady experiencing her menstrual cycle. What are some of these myths?
Yes, there is quite a lot of taboos and misconceptions, that can cause problems with dignity and, social exclusion. Some of these are virginities broken by tampons, or you are sexually active or sexually mature, which is not true, because sexual maturity requires you to be mentally and psychologically ready. Menstruation starts from around 8 for some girls, so obviously this is not true. That menstruation shouldn't be spoken about. Menstruation should be kept a secret, and this causes young girls not to approach their mothers, leading to poor menstrual hygiene. Some girls hide their period, using paper and all kinds of products that are not healthy for them. That you shouldn't walk barefoot because you'll get more period pain. That women are moody, and it's not the case with everyone. Our moods do change, but it's not for everyone, and not necessarily during, that time.
It actually breaks my heart, because these are all myths that you've just identified, and yet there are so many that believe that. And Boitumelo, you have spent, a lot of time educating people through, using the right products and just giving them the resources that they need. How can one now go about separating the truth and the facts from the myths and the stigmas attached to menstrual cycles?
I think there are a couple of things. One, I've never heard the barefoot one. It's the first time. Every time I do this, you discover a new myth. But the first thing is to consult a doctor. You need to actually consult the doctor. And I think the other thing is everybody knows their body and understands their body. Visit a doctor who you trust, who understands you, and will believe everything that you say about your body. One of the things that I do personally is I actually track my own cycle, so that if there's any changes, I can have a conversation with the doctor about it.
And that's very important. I think there's a lot of young ladies that aren't tracking their cycles. Now, doctor, we're going to start off with you. We are asking you now one of the questions: is your menstrual blood dirty?
Not at all. So menstrual blood is not an excretion. It's not urine, it's not feces, it's bodily fluids that consist of vaginal secretions, blood, as well as cells. So the lining of the womb consists of cells, and that is what is shed every month. There's also naturally occurring bacteria, there's proteins in there, there's electrolytes that form this fluid. So they're not dirty at all. So I think what people worry about is, for example, the smell. But if you think about cutting your arm, that blood has really no smell. What does cause a smell is, the longer the blood is in a tampon or a pad, that can smell. But menstrual blood itself is not dirty. It's not dirty.
Okay, so that's also why proper hygiene during that time of the month is so important, to change out your tampons and your pads regularly. Now, Boitumelo, a question that gets asked often, and this comes from both genders, is having intercourse during that time of the month. Is it okay? Is it allowed? Is it safe? What is the take on that?
Look, I think there's the personal confines and the confines that one would have in a relationship. Then you've got the religious and cultural confines that people operate in. But, the doctor will support this. From a physical point of view, there's absolutely nothing wrong. Go ahead if you want to, but I think it depends on people's religious and cultural preferences.
And when it comes to PMS, I feel like that's a term that gets thrown at ladies that experience a mood swing here and there to kind of justify her actions or her emotions in a wrong and sometimes a very negative way. Yeah. But PMS, there are real symptoms and it also comes with mood swings. How are these hand in hand?
Mood swings are one of the many symptoms. It's one of the psychological symptoms. We get mood swings, we've got anxiety. Then you do get, also your physical symptoms. I think it's just misunderstood that people blame everything on mood swings, but they are natural. Yeah.
And doctor, for someone that is experiencing irregular periods, when should this be seen as a red flag? Like, oh, maybe I need to go consult a doctor, or perhaps, it's okay, it's to be expected given perhaps the stress I'm under. Because often a lot of people, if they research irregular flow, it often leads to signs of pregnancy, which isn't always the case.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I also support what Butima is saying about tracking your cycle. So cycles are different for every woman on the planet. So a regular cycle is like 24 days to 38 days. So if anything is out of your normal, previously they used to say it's about 80 mils, but it's just personal if you experience usually heavy or normal flow or light flow, and then something changes, or if you're bleeding in between your cycles. So you're not supposed to bleed, but in between cycles, and you bleed between your cycle, that is something to consult about. And then there's also things that, you do need to consult about. Women can have pathologies like polyps or something happening in the lining, or fibroids and things like that can make you bleed more than usual. So that you should definitely consult about, yeah.
And if you just experience the regular period pain, cramps, or perhaps the lighter symptoms, then, necessarily people don't always want to go to the doctor for that, but you can go to the pharmacy for that, right?
Definitely go to the pharmacy for that. I think what's important is, one, to have your annual checkup so that you can also just bounce off what is normal and what is not normal. Because just because you've been experiencing something for, a couple of months, years, and perceive it as normal for you may not necessarily be as well.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for demystifying some of the myths around a lady and her menstrual cycle, and I hope you took a lot from that. And understanding that you need the correct information to fully embrace your menstrual cycle is the main purpose for the conversation that we had today. By demystifying the menstrual cycle, there is more room to learn, more facts to learn, and of course with Salome, your journey matters.
On a monthly basis, all of us powerful, fierce women deal with our menstrual cycle. But why let it affect our lives?
Anywhere I go, anywhere I be.
As your natural journey unfolds, let our products naturally assist you. Live your full unfiltered life with the Salome range for PMS, menstrual pain, and heavy menstrual bleeding. Salome, your journey matters. Available at pharmacies nationwide.